Hey guys, it's Brenda from BrendaTurner.com, and today I'm going to give you the perfect human diet. Call the press, call the news, call every university. I have the answer. I know that it can be confusing, the jungle of nutritional information out there. We've got keto, carnivore, paleo, vegan, intermittent fasting, AIP, so much more. There's probably literally a million different diets, and it's like, where do we go and what do we do? There's currently multi-billions of dollars that have been spent throughout history in nutritional science and trying to figure out what we should be putting into our mouths. Still, a big question mark remains. We have some universal ideas, we have some universal guidelines, but we're still like, we don't know what to eat. How do we get in this conundrum? We're a species that can put a man on a moon, and yet with the nutritional aspect, humanity is still kind of at a loss. But in today's video, I'm going to talk about what I think is the missing piece to this puzzle. And before we get into the big missing piece of the puzzle, we have to take a journey through the human species, through humanity. Throughout human history, we can see very clearly that humans are an adaptive species. The human species throughout time has survived on low carb, high fat diets, high carb, low fat diets. We're an adaptable species. Our biochemistry more or less makes it so that we can eat various amounts of different quantities of different kinds of food. That's important to remember, but then, so what gives? How do we end up where we're at today? How did we end up with a big, huge question mark on the table? And I believe that the biggest part of the reason why we can spend billions of dollars in research and have thousands of experts in the medical fields and researchers and people studying this stuff for their whole lives. People have dedicated their whole lives to this research, and why we can still be arguing with each other about this. Why we can still be as a group saying, no, my way's better. No, my way's better. No, this works. No, that works. And still we don't know. That's because the big missing piece of the puzzle is never ever talked about. And that big missing piece is this. We're not just bodies. We're not just minds. We are spiritual beings. We're inhabiting human bodies. We're spiritual beings inhabiting human bodies. And if you don't believe that, this probably is not the video for you. This probably isn't a channel for you. And yes, I am a nutrition and fitness professional. And yes, I read the data. And yes, I think the science matters. And I think the studies matter. And I think what we eat matters. We can talk about how great the keto diet is and how amazing it can be for a lot of people. And we could talk about how you should probably cut grains out of your diet. And we could talk about the very beneficial aspects of the anti-inflammatory diet, which I'm a huge fan of. But I'm going to tell you right now, ultimately, none of it matters. Ultimately, none of it matters. It matters a little. It matters to the fact that I'm still always going to post recipes and nutritional information, and I'm going to take you grocery shopping with me and showing you the best and worst foods to not eat. However, none of it ultimately matters, because what I've found is what really matters, the foundation that this whole thing has to be built on, is the spiritual awareness. The spiritual awareness, the awareness and connection to that spiritual awareness. Connection to the awareness that you are not just a body. You're a spirit inside of a body. How does this impact the way that we live? How does this impact our health? What does this have to do with the foods that we put into our mouth? It has everything to do with all of that. That spiritual aspect that I'm talking about, it's not just like a woo-woo idea. That spiritual aspect, it's also an experiential thing. It's the experience of living in the present moment right now. You don't have to be religious or spiritual to know that we are a society of people who are very disconnected from our instincts. Every other animal on this planet knows exactly what to eat, knows exactly when to eat, knows exactly how much to eat. The issue isn't that we're a population of overeaters. We're not a population of people who are overindulgent. We're not a population of people who don't know how to eat. Most of us know how to eat. Most of us know deep down what's healthy. We're a population, and our pandemic and our epidemic is we're a population of people disconnected from our essential nature. We've disconnected from the very essential nature, that thing that makes us unique, that thing that makes us whole, that thing that makes us a body, mind, spirit complex. We've disconnected from our inherent body, mind, spirit beingness, from our wholeness, from our essential nature. And so my answer to the question of what is the perfect human diet, it's to let go of trying to figure out what the perfect human diet is, though you can still do research, and I will continue to read the research. But the very first step is let go of any more thinking about it. Don't overthink it. Because the very first step, the real work, is getting really in tune with your essential nature. Your essential nature, when you're really in tune with it, it's going to give you the tools that you need to see your food clearly, to know exactly what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat. This is an inherent instinct that you have that cannot be taken away from you. And so how do we do this? How do we get to living this in practical terms so that this isn't just a concept? How do you get to being more connected with your instinctive nature, with your natural inherent abilities to know exactly what to eat, when to eat, how much to eat? There's 3 steps, and the first step is meditation. Building a meditation practice. And this doesn't have to be a very big undertaking. You can just take 5 minutes in the morning to just focus on your breathing or do a guided meditation. The practice of meditation, that word practice, it's practicing being in exactly the state that I'm talking about, being more in your essential nature, being more in tune with who and what you are, being more in tune with reality. We then take that practice into our real life. So that's step 2, is you practice meditation, and then step 2 is you take your practice throughout your day in little sips of being aware. It could just be 2 minutes once every couple hours. You just take a minute, take a breather, close your eyes, relax, or take a minute to take a glass of water, drink it slowly, or take a minute to wash your hands and just feel the bubbles and the soap and smell it. To just take a minute and just be really deeply in your body. Some other ways that you can do step 2 to practice meditation, to practice mindfulness throughout your day, is walking and feeling the ground underneath your feet. Moving your body. Practices like yoga are fantastic. Any form of exercise, anything really vigorous and hard, just getting out of your mind and into your body, anything that helps you do that is a fantastic way to practice meditation, to practice being in the present moment. And the final step I'm going to offer you is to deeply feel the sensations and emotions happening in your body. Feeling the sensations and emotions happening in your body and not trying to suppress them is one of the most beneficial practices that you can do for your health, for your diet, for finding the perfect human diet, and for every other area of your life. A big part of the reason we've gotten to this place of an epidemic of health crises on our hands is because we're a population not just of disconnection with our inherent nature, but also with suppressing any emotions that are unsavory. We tend to self-medicate and self-soothe with things like drugs, alcohol, Netflix, and food. Food is so easy. Food's so easy. You can go to a fast food place and buy a burger and you can eat it, and while you're eating it, it feels so good and you're not having to feel the crunchy, uncomfortable feelings. But I promise, my friend, if you start feeling your emotions, the sensations happening in your body that come with those feelings, they pass, they transmute, and you're not left with a very heavy burden of trying to suppress these emotions. So your emotions are your friends. You just let them pass, and they transmute, and they leave. So instead of suppressing with food, I want to invite you to notice the next time that you're going to eat something. Just notice if there's anything that you're trying to suppress, maybe boredom, maybe sadness, maybe any other spectrum of emotion. Perfect human diet is the diet that you follow when you're in perfect alignment with your happiness, your wholeness, your joy, your peace, just your inner alignment. And this isn't going to be a perfect process. There's no perfection here. We're not a perfect species, but we can, however, be very in tune with what our body needs and wants and make adjustments as we go. If you want to know more about this practice, I put together a 3-day mini course in an email format. And on each day, you get a set of simple practices that are going to take you less than 5 minutes. It's just going to give you like a quick idea and a thing to carry throughout your day. And it's going to get you on track to experiencing all of this beautiful stuff I'm talking about firsthand. Link for that little mini course is down in the description bar below. Please join that if you're interested. And thank you so much for being with me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.